Coming at you from the stagnant shores of Lake Erie, from a little town near Buffalo, please welcome the host of Buffalo Fireside Chats, the one and only, E-Rock, K-Dog, or whatever the hell you'd like to call him.
Welcome back to Buffalo Fireside Chats, episode number 3. I hope you are all having a great week. Today we have a special performance by ILUS long holder. Arrlex ain't selling the 50, but before we get to that, I gotta say it has been a crazy, crazy week. Everything from Will Smith smacking Chris Rock, which was crazy, to the Bills securing a deal for a brand new stadium. It's been wild. It's been a wild week. And I gotta say, Chris Rock, you held your composure, and I am a fan. I'm a fan of both of you guys, but I hate to see you guys go at it. But man, you took a breath and you just kept the show going. Good for you, man. We're going to talk about the Bills locking in a new stadium as well. But first, I got to address the governor of New York freezing the bank accounts of thousands of New Yorkers to grab a nice almost $500 million from the Seneca Gaming Corporation. $418 million to be exact. Now, being from Western New York, one knows negotiations between New York State and the Seneca Nation have always been grueling. New York State always wanting more, and the Seneca Nation being reluctant to pay. There are many reasons why, but it's no shock that New York courts would agree with New York State, of course. So just as the Gaming Commission would probably side with the Seneca Gaming Corporation. So, yeah, I mean, this has been going on for a while, and quite frankly, I think that they shouldn't be taxed, but that's just my personal opinion. But let me know what you think about that down below. But now this sort of ties right into the Buffalo Bills Stadium agreement that we announced. That was announced, and man, and while I'm stoked that we're getting a new stadium. I mean, and they were able to like negotiate it on all fronts to have a very low tax burden, all of us. This money grab definitely puts a stain on the new stadium contract, and I call it a money grab because it literally. Kathy, you literally froze thousands of accounts, and I think it's government overreach. It is government overreach, and it was a crappy thing to do. And you boasted about the fact that you were going to use that $418 million to offset the $600 million that the state would contribute. It's a crappy thing to do, and while I'm still excited to talk about the stadium, I think this is a big win for the Bills Mafia. This rubs me and many people the wrong way, and it is the epitome of government overreach. So, congratulations, Kathy. You just made Dumbass of the Week. All right, I had to fix my mic. I felt like I was like permanently smiling. I don't know what I was thinking, but hey, whatever. Let's talk about this Bills agreement here. The Buffalo Bills reached an agreement Monday with New York State and Erie County to build a new $1.4 billion state-of-the-art open-air stadium in Orchard Park, New York. So yes, we're staying in Orchard Park. Under the 30-year lease, the public will provide $850 million to fund construction costs, while the state of New York is expected to contribute $600 million, which I just talked about. And remember that $418 million is going to be from Seneca Nation funds. Erie County is going to fork over about $250 million toward the project. And the groundbreaking for the stadium is set for about spring 2023, with it set to open in 2026. So that's what we're looking at. Opening day 2026. So Bills Mafia, be ready. All right. Now I do live in earshot from the stadium, and let me tell you, it's going to be pretty cool to see this thing go up piece by piece. And when they do blow the other one to smithereens, I will definitely be watching. The new stadium is estimated to hold around 62,000 fans, down from the current stadium's Highmark Stadium, 71,608. So almost 10,000 less. So Bills Mafia, get ready to pay a little bit more. I wouldn't doubt that parking is going to be astronomical in addition to everything else. But if we could just make sure that the nacho price doesn't go up, let's keep that nacho price down. And you know what's good with nachos? Bourbon. No, okay. All right, listen. I've never had bourbon and nachos together, to be honest. But let's get to it. The bourbon of the week. Bibb & Tucker's 6-year-old small batch bourbon whiskey. Like the turn of the century that inspired it, boldness and refinement come together to create a bourbon that's meant to be raised in celebration. Aged for a minimum of 6 years in the rolling hills of Tennessee in new American white oak barrels, produces unparalleled smoothness. This harmony makes it easy to enjoy from the front of the mouth to the back. Worthy of any occasion, you pick the moment. And this award-winning small batch bourbon will make it. And now, on to the description. The nose leads with a scent of strong vanilla and sweet hay, and is accented by a whiff of sandalwood and mace. Palate. Ooh, let's talk about the palate. It has a smooth entry. The bourbon is nicely balanced with a hint of pecan pie and sweetness. It fulfills the promise of its nose before evolving into a warm, rich, spicy sensation. Finishes coats the palate with a complex yet balanced and long-lasting chestnut finish. And that's not mace that we spray at each other. I was reading that, and that is one of the first times I've seen that in a bourbon description, actually mace, but literally not mace spray. That wouldn't be very tasty, I don't think. The cheers of the week is going to go to the Seneca Nation and anybody that was affected by the freezing of the accounts. Cheers to you guys, and stay strong. And now it's ILUS time! The ILUS DD Packet Breakdown of the Week. Egal was awesome enough to tweet this out, and as an ILUS holder, it just serves as a reminder of all that they've accomplished in just 1 year. Quarter four revenues, look at that, $4.76 million, a 52% increase. Quarter four gross profit, $1.7 million, almost a 200% increase. I mean, this is actually great. So I am not worried at all about my favorite stock. But look at what he attached to that tweet right there. I mean, just look at the assets, almost $28 million increase. And guess what? That doesn't even take into account where we're going to be with the new and future acquisitions. They haven't even started in regards to full-scale production, though we now know that much of their production will take place in Serbia, where a lot of heavy hitters such as Fiat, Mercedes, and Ford currently manufacture. Over 60 automotive companies from all over the world operate there, so just wait until the revenue starts rolling in. Now, let's move on to the core of the show. We have a member of the ILUS Discord community that composed what many of us call the ILUS Anthem. So we're going to hear from him in a little bit, but please enjoy Ain't Sellin' Till 50 by ARRLEX.
Do you know what you hold or what's been holding you? Whether long or you're short, that's for you to choose. If you don't have a plan, that is something you lack. So grab a bag of Oreos and just sit back. ILUS, the name defines us. Ain't nobody stopping us now. We are confident, we're a conglomerate. We're gonna show the haters out. Ain't selling a 50, can you hear me? Ain't nobody stopping us now. Ain't selling a 50, who is with me? We're gonna show the haters out. The market is ready, it's a fire, it's a fire. I know just who could put it out. With the patented tech, when the mistakes are dead, no fire that can't be put out. That's why I ain't selling a 50, can you hear me? Ain't nobody stopping us now. Ain't selling a 50, who is with me? We're gonna show the haters out. We're in the OTC, think bigger, think bigger, think bigger. Will we ever get out? Think bigger, think bigger, think bigger. How will we pay for it? Think bigger, think bigger, think bigger. Will we work with Tesla? Think bigger, think bigger. I ain't selling a 50, can you hear me? Ain't nobody stopping us now. Ain't selling a 50, who is with me? Ba-da-ba-bum, ba-da-bum. Ain't selling a 50, can you hear me? Ain't nobody stopping us now. Ain't selling a 50, gonna show the haters out. Ain't selling a 50, can you hear me? Ain't nobody stopping us now. Ain't selling a 50. shoot the haters out. Do you know what you hold or what's been holding you? ILUS is waiting for you.
Arrlex, welcome to Buffalo Fireside Chats. It's great to have you on.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to ask you these questions. There are so many of us ILUS shareholders that come from all walks of life. What's the story of Arrlex? Where have you been? What you doing? And just tell us about yourself, man.
ARRLEX. Well, that's the $1 million question, huh? There's not really much of a big story behind the name. My name is Alex, by the way. Back in the day, I was big into a game that came out called Sea of Thieves. It's a pirate game. So I just made a quirky name, adjusted my name Alex into ARRLEX with 3 R's. And then it just grew on me, right? But me, I'm Alex. I'm from Rochester, New York. I am a full-time nurse. That is my profession. That's what I've been doing. I love to do besides music. And honestly, being in nursing has taught me how to have passion for people, have taught me to have passion just for life itself, and passion for things that are just inanimate, just anything that makes sense to people, that people hold dear. The passion for it is there. I've been doing nursing for about, 4 years straight. And every single paycheck is going into ILUS.
That's awesome. And I know you and I are long shareholders in ILUS, and that's where we met, was on the ILUS Discord. So about the ILUS anthem, as I call it, ain't selling till 50. So was there a specific moment when you said, I got to compose an ILUS anthem, or like, I got an idea?
Yes. It was about a week before the ILUS shareholders meeting, the annual ILUS shareholders meeting. And I have just been fed up with the fudders on StockTwits. I have been fed up with the shorters, because, no matter how much you try, it doesn't seem like you can win. They say their bits on StockTwits, they get their attention. Everyone's hating on them. But then there's the rumors that they get paid per tweet that we respond with. And they're always saying, ILUS this, they're lying about their timelines, and no one's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. We're human, right? So the hard part is realizing how to combat that. And it was coming into the annual shareholders meeting, right? And I'm like, what do I do? Because now everyone is, the bears are coming out because they're trying to get everyone afraid that, the stockholders meeting isn't going to be as planned or as everyone thought it would be. And everyone's basically been saying, sell, short. This stock is phony. So I came up with ain't selling to 50. The song, I guess the anthem that people are calling it. It's, I believe in the stock. I believe in the words, the lyrics that I created. And what better way to put it into a bear's face than just telling him straight up what you're going to do? It's like, I don't care what you're telling me. I am going to straight up not sell till 50. And, one of the lyrics and the words is, do you know what you hold or what's been holding you? The piece is, the ILUS shares. Do you know what you're holding, the company itself? Or is it just a quick get rich scheme to you? And the part where what's been holding you is fear. We have a lot of new investors, especially after COVID happened and the whole AMC and GME gamma squeezes and all that. Everyone wants a bit of the OTC market and everything. And I feel like that's kind of negatively impacting true investors, long-term holders, because every few cents, every few 5, 10, 15%, there's always a drop. People are taking profit, which I don't blame them. You have your plan. I'm glad that you're sticking with your plan. But it does impact the long-term investors. And that's kind of why I created this song. to kind of, it was a little quirky, a little silly, but, you know, a little upbeat. And I feel like it portrays what we need to portray, at least from my perspective, and to give hope, you know, to the new investors that may not know the full DD, that may not know what they're truly investing in, and hoping that that could convince them or encourage them to hold longer and hold stronger.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And I think that even just being on StockTwits sometimes, like just the other day, it's like, is anybody really researching? They call themselves, well, I'm holding long. Well, I mean, Eagle's book, as I like to call it, the Bible of ILUS, is really unbelievable, you know? And I think that his recent tweet, you know, just really proves and is just the reminder, was sort of just a wake up call to everybody in all the chat rooms everywhere. Hey, look what they did in just 1 year, just on the total assets of 27, almost $28 million in 1 year is remarkable. So anybody that says this company isn't putting their money where their mouth is hasn't done a lick of research, or they're just, like you said, purposely trying to get the responses on StockTwits, and some money's being slung around. So, I mean, who knows, you know? We are
Yeah,
holding
exactly.
long.
And what is it? It's like next year in 2022, they're projecting, or actually this year, they're projecting about 40 to 55 million. That's nuts. That is nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, this company literally just started under new management January of 2021. Look how far they've gone. It's insane. And what people, you know, the good old question that always kind of irritates me is when is Moon? when are we going to skyrocket? You know, and it's like, do you guys, you know, besides the share price, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but besides the share price, it's like, do you not understand what the company has accomplished within 1 year of how much they're cascading and expanding? And if they continue at this rate within 2 to 3 years, you know, we're in the sense right now that the teens of millions of revenues that they're having is going to.
Hang on, buddy. You are cutting out for a second. I want you to hold that thought. We are going to take a quick second, and I'll edit this so it's pieced together.
There you go.
We're back. I lost total signal. I'm going to say that was completely my fault. I was not connected to my garage Wi-Fi. Problem uno, me. So go back just to finish up what you were just saying. I apologize about that.
Where exactly?
I don't know.
Where did it cut off?
I trailed off. We were basically talking about the presence and the FUD and all that stuff, and where we were going. Oh my God, I did lose my train of thought because I just had a like panic attack just now.
No,
so
no, that's
like
fine.
I lost them.
No, what I was saying is the fact that, you know, the management took hold of company January of 2021, and look at how much revenues, look at all of the acquisitions. They're not just any normal acquisition. They're strategic, right? To give a gateway into, you know, into the other states, other countries, borders. And look at how much money they've been making. And people are always asking, like, when is this going to skyrocket? When are we going to launch to the moon, you know? And when that happens, that will happen, and I'll be sure to tell you. But what people fail to realize, especially new investors, is at this rate that ILUS is growing is extraordinary. Which other OTC market has this extraordinary rate of growth? The revenues, the profits, the expansions, and the acquisitions. If they continue at this rate, like within a few years, we're not even going to be in the you know, tens of millions of profits. We're going to be in the hundreds of millions. And that's when people are going to regret not getting into these, you know, at what, 15, 16 cents. This is nuts. And that's what people fail to realize and grasp.
Yeah, and I remember where we were at, because it was bringing me to the point of Serbia, and you look at like even Vera, and like look at those valuations are going to be unbelievably huge, and they are just getting orders.
Oh yeah,
they aren't even in full swing. And if you look at the manufacturing in Serbia and what its potential is, especially having 60 automotive companies from around the world, it's obviously successful and it's obviously efficient for there are people over there, those workers, and they're must be doing a good job. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
If people are flocking from all over the world, and it looks like the manufacturing plant is going to be gold for this company. So, and they haven't even started to produce revenue for these companies yet. So, like you just said, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, and that they're going to set out to be that multi-billion global conglomerate, you know? And
exactly. And the one thing that I love about ILUS is that they have their path that they're going to take. They have their career path essentially, and they're not trying to get there overnight. You know, so many OTC stocks try to get there overnight, and what's the result? A reverse split. Reverse split just to get into the OTC or out of the OTC, and then it just starts tanking and they get nowhere. Like, for example, we were talking about Serbia. I read an excerpt that I believe it was 6 to 8 years that they were giving the company, and it literally stated hundreds of millions of euros for the city of, what is it, Kakak,
yeah,
and the building that they and ILUS essentially, and that's just nuts, and that's just one, and we got multiple coming on the road.
it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
And
blows my mind.
And the thing that Nick and JP always tell us is that there's, what is it, like 15 to 20 to 25. They're in talks with 15 to 20, 25 companies about acquisitions at any given day. That's nuts.
Yeah, I do believe, and I'll say this because I'm blown away. I'm glad I found them when I did. Is that they are pro shareholder, and it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
So unbelievable.
The honesty is unreal. And I lost a lot of money in a previous penny stock. Actually, it was my first penny stock. I don't know if you heard about it. It was a ticker symbol IPSI.
No.
Ipsy Pay. It's a fintech company. Basically had an app of paying with crypto, sending money all over the place. It turned out to be a big scheme, a money grab from the CEO. They did. I don't know if they did a reverse split already, but it just tanked, and I lost so much money. And thank God that I was browsing stock tweets for my next thing, and I saw ILUS, and someone from this Discord, I don't know who it was, I can't remember anymore. I'll have to go through my chat history, but they said get into ILUS now before it rips, and I dumped everything in there without knowing what it was. I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad. If you're a new investor, do not do this ever. Do your DD first. But what can I say? I'm a genius. So then I got into the Discord, and then read the book of Eigel. It took me like 2 weeks before I found it, but read it, and it just bolstered my conviction, man. It really did.
I remember hearing it on Alpha Status, and I'm like, all right, that does look good. Then I found Jonathan Burbank's channel, and that's what really sold me on it, and what led me to the Discord for myself, and then the Book of Eigel, of course, or Eagle, I should say it properly. My bad. No, he's gonna defriend me on Twitter. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Eagle. He's a good guy.
He'll have to come onto the show and properly pronounce it.
Oh, well, they don't know this yet, but like once I get to about 500 subscribers, if that ever happens, by the way, every 100 subscribers, I'm going to donate $100 to charity. So please subscribe, if you're listening right now. But they don't know this yet, but I'm going to have them on the show, and I hope they do come on.
There you go.
Oh man. So let me ask you a question. There was obviously an inspiration in your life musically. So yeah. What? To tell me about that.
Man, I've been singing all my life. My mother kept telling me that before I was even born, she'd be singing to me. So I guess I got it from her. Was never great at it, but it's something that I loved, that I adored. And I picked it up. I spent a lot of time at our church choir, trying to pick up skills and whatnot. But yeah, no, every time I stuck with it, I kept getting better and better and better. And then it just turned out to be my safe place, my haven, my inspiration, where I could just pour my thoughts into, get clarity at the end of the day. And it's just something that I stuck with. And I took piano lessons for about 7 years. couldn't grasp a dang thing, man. I could not grasp how to read notes, how to play notes, play what I'm reading to this day. So I don't even know what I'm playing. Whatever you hear out there, I don't know. It just happens. I play by ear. I taught myself afterwards out of frustration. But no, music has been a great part of my life, great inspiration. And one of my goals, once ILUS gives me complete financial freedom, is to be able to have a studio of my own, and just create music, to just inspire people. That is my dream.
That's awesome. As a music teacher, that means a lot hearing you say that. And you know what? There's a thing in music education that it's like rote versus note, like learning by ear as opposed to reading music. And I was a rote person too. I loved playing by ear. And you know what? You get a lot out of it. That's just the truth. And you obviously know what you're doing. But I know exactly what you're saying. When I was in college, I struggled because I struggled with the reading aspect, but yeah, I could totally relate, man. So, and you sound great. Great modulations, by the way. Great key changes.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. So, how long did you sing in the church choir for when you were with those guys?
Oh man, I started when I was like, let's see, maybe like 8.
Wow.
8, and then I kept going with it, and I stopped going maybe about a few years back, and then I picked it up again, and then kind of work got in the way. My hours got in the way, so I kind of had to move on from that. But the skill, the passion, the desire carried with me, and that's the biggest thing that I'm thankful for, and everything that I've learned, and the inspiration of that. So
that's awesome. Genres. What are your favorite genres? Artists? Modern, new, old, anything?
Oh man, I love jazz. I love me some good old Frankie. Modern Frankie, aka Michael Bublé, love that. Growing up, and even now, a lot of actually Christian artists and gospel musicians. I love that. The fact that the inspiration behind that. It helped me through a lot of times during work, especially being a nurse, where every day is essentially life and death for patients. It's not easy on the body, on the soul, and that's where I found my haven, my stronghold. But yeah, I love jazz. I cannot play jazz. Whenever I try, see, that's the thing. I'll tell you this. That's why I'm glad that I never learned fully how to play piano, because when I discover something, it's like a brand new feeling to me. It's the greatest feeling ever. You discovered something that you never knew. No one taught it to you. And now that will stay forever because you found it. And that's the beauty behind the music. It's just incredible.
I mean, hell, I felt it here when you were singing about a company. Yeah, it's gonna be like 10 years down the road. I'm gonna be driving down the car, down the road in my car. Well, my kids will be older at the time, and the commercial's gonna come on. I'm just gonna have a tear that streams down my face, and they're gonna be like, "Why are you crying over a commercial?" I go, "Why do you think we're driving a Mercedes now, son?"
That's so funny. It is funny. George from the Discord messaged me. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm listening to your video again, and I'm singing 'Ain't Selling the 50' at the top of my lungs, to the point where the neighbors had to knock on the door to get him to be quiet." Free advertisement, passive advertisement. There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, it's a great song. I can't deny it, man. It's awesome. Man, I heard it. I was like, you had the song out there. I'm like, let's check this out. I'm like, whoa, all right, this is good. This is really good. Oh, that's funny, man. But that's awesome. That's such an inspiration, dude. So much. And here's a tough question. And I was asked this before, and it was the most difficult because I love all types of music. I like everything from classical, straight, everything.
Yeah.
So you're trapped on an island, and you can only have one album with you. What's that album gonna be?
Why?
Why not?
I'm gonna give you a very unorthodox answer. All right. It's gonna be my album. I created an album. It's not out yet. It's everything's done, but it would have to be mine. The reason why unorthodox is because when you think of an artist, artists create music for it to be seen, for it to be heard by other people, for it to inspire other people. For me, it's a little bit different. The music that I create is essentially an inspiration for me. As I said, whenever I have rough days, I'm always, decompressing on my keyboard, on my piano. And these songs speak to me, and they help me through it. And so, you're stranded on an island. Yeah, you could listen to some Frank Sinatra, but you're gonna die there. So it's the type of inspiration that you're looking for. And in that case, in that scenario, I would have to say my music, because my music is what I listen to when I'm going through a hard time, a rough phase, a rough patch, and that's kind of the goal. Where if it can help me, I want it to help others that are going through the same thing or a similar thing as me. So you thought you were going to stop me there, huh?
I did. That's a great answer, dude. That's a great answer. I did answer that question when I was asked it, but like even in answering it, I could totally agree with your philosophy right there, because I mean, there's so much music that inspires me, and there are so many things in the world that inspire me. How could I just pick one? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That it's just like saying pick one person in your life. Well, I don't want to get in trouble with my wife here, but I mean, I got kids and stuff. I mean, one person that you could be with forever. I mean, I want to be with my whole family forever. You know what I mean? So like when you think about music and that kind of inspiration too, like, I don't know if I would survive. I wouldn't survive, by the way, on an island with my wife forever. She'd kill me. She would kill me.
Hey,
that's all right.
The good news is we own ILUS. ILUS owns Vera Drones. We're out of there, man. That's our escape.
Or she could have her own island. She could swim over to her own island.
There you go.
Nah, she's great. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to like pick one of something. Like, I'll pick one family member, pick one song, pick one. Like I get asked all the time, what's your favorite song? I don't know. I mean, it depends on the day, depends on my mood, depends on, what I want.
Do you remember back in the day when they had the old-fashioned iPods? And they could hold, how much songs could they hold? Like 200 songs. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, that's 200 songs. And now we have like Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play. And there's like 4,000 songs on our playlist. And
it's unbelievable.
Like, it takes us like 2 years before we get to the last song. It's nuts.
Remember downloading the songs, and then you had to wait, and then you transferred the file, and you plugged in your USB, and it was like, USB was a completely new thing, right? What's a USB?
Exactly.
We've come so far. I actually found my old MP3 player. It only held we're talking like almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
It was a round or a square, like a silver and orange thing. And it only held like 30 songs. It was a cheapo type of, but that was like, wow, I could put 2 albums on here, maybe 3.
Yeah, now you have to really choose.
Man, and you just mentioned drones. I mean, we talked about drones during the Vegas meetup, during one of the breaks in between sessions.
Yes.
So what was that drone that you were telling me about?
It was the DJI FPV, first person view drone. I had no idea what it was. Right? I had no idea what it was, but I saw it, and I saw the things that people could do on it on YouTube videos, and I wanted it. So I got it. I named her ILUS. I was not able to get her on a maiden flight. For some reason, I kept updating it. It wouldn't update. And it got to the point where I was doing a lot of practice runs on simulation apps with the FPV goggles. Turns out that it gives me really bad vertigo, really bad nausea, dizziness. So I contacted support, and they're like, everything seems fine, but we'll replace it for you. And at that point, I was so fed up that I couldn't even get it to fly. This is the only time I will ever sell ILUS, and I ended up selling ILUS to buy more ILUS, if that makes sense. So unfortunately, I do not own a drone at the time, but I'm looking still to get one. preferably not first person.
Yeah. My last question. I was actually going to ask you this earlier. Have you ever been to any of the shareholder meetups?
I have not. I have not. I wanted to go to the one that was based off of out in New York City, due to work and just the logistics of everything. I was not able to make it. I wanted to make the Vegas one, but I am planning to be there at the next one. I want to be there. That is something that it's an experience. I've been told that you can't miss, as much as you talk about the DD, as much as you talk about anyone's conviction, I've been told once you're there and you meet the management, you experience what they have to say, and just see that there is no fear in their eyes, and that they truly believe in their own product, in their own company, in their own stock. And you're going to walk out of there, beating yourself up for not buying more and forever doubting.
Yeah, I definitely plan on being at the next one. I'm very, I don't have a lot of money, but the money I do and pick and choose that I want to invest in. Like, I'm not a big traveler either, so I did want to go to New York City. That just didn't work out. But I'm going to budget for it. I'm definitely planning on being at the next shareholder meeting. It's something I'm going to save for, $100 a week, whatever, that's my airfare back and forth if it's in Las
There you
Vegas.
go.
So
There you go.
I'm definitely planning on budgeting for it. And I didn't budget for it. So, we're very structured when it comes to finances. And I have built into my system, like you do, your weekly shares for ILUS or what you're going to pick up every week, because
There you go.
why
There you
not?
go.
$100 here, $100 here. And, my goal is 75,000 by June, which would be great. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I don't think I will be, because I think the share price is going to start climbing this way.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as they reduce the outstanding shares, then man, buy when you can. Again, to what you're able to. But that's the beauty of being a long-term investor. A lot of people are in for the short run, as I mentioned before. The GME and the AMC, the shoot up, and they don't understand the accumulation phase. They don't understand that, and as soon as you get that dip, they panic. They oh my gosh, when is the moon? Why is this happening? They sell it and then they come back and they bash the stock and it goes down even more. They don't understand the accumulation phase, and if you are truly sold on that, on the company and on a stock, you cherish it. I buy every single dip because I know where it's going to go. I'm already set in my way that I'm holding for a minimum of 1 year. But even after that, I'm probably going to hold for about like five to 10 years. And man, I'm not even touching my my Roth IRA that is 100% ILUS. I am not even touching that. But once you get into that mentality and know you set a goal for yourself, you can actually sleep at night. You don't have to worry about the intraday jumps, the bogus market manipulations. Once we get into the OTC QB, and then finally out of the OTC itself, the manipulation is going to drastically drop. We're going to get a lot of financial companies getting in, a lot of big time whales coming in, and people are going to see that we're the real deal. Right now we're blessed that we can get in these small prices, in these small price points. And the hard part of it is getting all these smaller school age kids that come from Reddit to understand that this could be your future. You just have to realize that.
I think that's spot on. I'll remember back to maybe October or November. I forgot when exactly it was. We were close to 30 cents. Mm-hmm. And we went right down. It was like within 2 days, we banged back down to like, I think it was 16 or 17 cents. Maybe it probably was in a couple of days. I mean, but yeah. we had some trouble. And the best thing I did that day, because I was panicking a little bit. I'm like, all right, maybe let's just walk away. And it was the most relieving feeling. It was just like a moment of like, you know what? And that was the moment I decided I'm not touching this. And I didn't touch it. It was like, I can't remember the exact circumstance. I think maybe it was like a week long where it just like, it had some problems. I'm definitely gonna probably be corrected on this. I definitely will be. But I remember when it was down there around 16, 17, and I just shut my computer. I walked right away, and it was, I don't know, it just totally. I felt so good walking away from it. You know what I mean? And
Oh
here we
yeah. Oh
are,
yeah.
and here we are, and it went down to what, 11, 10ish.
10 cents. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel fine. Because I know where they're going, and I've done the research, and I respect the management because they're so clear with us, and I ain't worried. You ain't worried because we know
No.
what we hold, baby.
Yeah. Ain't selling the 50.
Ain't selling the 50. Man, Arrlex, I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. This is awesome to have you on. I'd like to have you on in a couple weeks. I'm going to have a couple other people on, and hopefully we're going to be having some more ILUS talk. And I want to apologize to you for the technical difficulties, that was my fault. This is only my 3rd episode. That's it. I'm technologically illiterate. Okay, that's a lie. That's a lie. I don't have a
That's
producer.
fine. That's fine.
But thank you so much for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed the time. I'm very honored that my music was able to be found as an inspiration by you and many others. And I just want to give a shout out to all the Ain't Selling the 50 gang members and all of you pedestrian ILUS investors. It can be rough days, but at the end, we're going to be there in the end at that meeting when, we're all millionaires, and it's going to be worth it. And we're just going to be laughing at all these down days and beating yourselves up for not buying more.
Exactly. All right, brother, you take care, and we're going to head back for close, guys. All right, guys, thank you for joining. Thank you to Arrlex for coming on the show. I really appreciate you, man. You are an inspiration to a lot of people. Keep writing, keep singing, keep doing what you do. And special thanks to Bourbon Tucker for supplying a great bourbon of the week. You guys are awesome. Thank you to all my subscribers. Remember, there is more that binds us than breaks us. You guys stay well. BFC, signing out.